Hello! I'm Elaine, and I'm a tour guide in the French Quarter. I do ghost tours. And I am not going to tell you the stories that I tell on my tour, because you gotta pay for those. But if you want to hear some interesting things that have happened to me while I'm leading random drunk people around the French Quarter, I got you.
So I was originally going to start this video with "It's been a weekend," and then it occurred to me that no, this is Monday. This was a Monday, which just makes it so much funnier. But I'm going to start with something that did happen on the weekend. A couple of days ago, there was a guest on one of my tours that when they went into the bar break came back with a little cup full of cherries. And an important thing to know about me, I absolutely love maraschino cherries. Like, one of the happiest moments in my adulthood was the moment that I realized I could just buy a jar of maraschino cherries at the grocery store and nobody was stopping me from just eating them. I did not have to put them on dessert. I did not have to put them on ice cream. I could literally just sit there and eat them. So when she offered me a cherry, my immediate response was, hell yeah. And I reached out and grabbed one, and I had it in my mouth when she said the words, "Oh, they are boozy cherries." And at that point, it was a bit too late to just spit it out, so I went ahead and bit down, and Christ on crutches. That was the most alcoholic piece of fruit I have ever experienced in my life. My eyes were watering. I was choking on a cherry. And the guest was very apologetic and was like, "I'm so sorry, I should have warned you." And I'm like, "You did, it just didn't come quite in time." And for the rest of that tour, I was terrified that someone's going to notice that I was ever so slightly tipsy off of a cherry. And to make it even worse, it was boiling hot out there, so of course the sweet plus a tiny bit of alcohol did not exactly help me feel great. But I really want to tell you about today, because today was a trip. I was supposed to have 4 guests on the tour today, but 2 of them did not show, probably because it was storming and the traffic was a mess for a reason that I figured out later. But the important thing is I'm there waiting for my guests, and eventually 2 of them arrive. And I notice immediately that these 2 women have probably had a couple of drinks. And there's one that I'm like, either she is really drunk or she's just super duper friendly and doesn't quite read social cues well. And I don't know. It could be either. So I'm not going to say anything. And her friend comes up and asks me, "Do we have enough time for us to go get a drink and pee?" And I'm thinking, yeah, y'all need to pee, but I'm not so sure about the drink. So I do the, yes. And just, make sure you stay sober enough to stay upright. That moment, my boss looks up and says, "She means stay sober enough you don't have to kick her off, she doesn't have to kick you off the tour." And ladies laugh, and I'm sitting there looking at my boss going, "That was not a joke. She meant that seriously, but okay." And they go off, they get drinks, we hang out, we're waiting, and eventually we do realize that, yeah, the other 2 guests are probably not coming. So I'm like, it's time to get started, and it takes forever to get them out of the store. They are so interested in everything, want to talk about things, want to talk to my boss, want to look at everything. And I'm like, okay, but come on, tour time, tour time, tour time. And I get them out in the streets, and I start the rules, and it's taking forever because they interrupt all the time. Everything they have a comment about, and even the rule about not interrupting, they interrupt. And I'm just like, oh, this is gonna go great. But they're the only people on the tour. It's not a problem. Like, as long as they are not a danger to themselves or a danger to me, we are fine. So I take them off to the first location, and once again it takes forever because they keep stopping to ask questions and talk about things, and they pulled out their phones to show me things. I'm just like, guys, come on. And we get to the first location, and where I was first standing, I was getting dripped on by water, so I stepped down off the curb. I had my feet right in the gutter, which is a place that tour guides stand all the damn time. Like, that is our most common place to stand, quite often with one foot up on the curb so that it's clear we are connected to the curb, and also so we can quickly jump up in case a car comes at us, but we are not in danger there. And God bless this woman. Every single time a car went by, she would reach out and grab me and try to pull me onto the curb. And I explained numerous times, I am perfectly safe where I am. I have an eye on the cars. I know when they're moving too quickly. I know when they're moving towards me. I've been doing this for a decade. I know where I can stand and not be in danger. And she just won't let it go. She's like, I'm just nervous. Step up. And I eventually have to literally stop the story and be like, ma'am, the reason I'm not stepping up is because if I am on the sidewalk with you, our choice is either to turn completely perpendicular so you cannot see the place I'm talking about, or we block the sidewalk, which is literally illegal. So just let me stand where I am. I promise you I'm safe. And also, they keep interrupting for other reasons, like everything they had comments on. They had questions, some of which were really good, relevant questions, but some of which I was a little bit like, okay, that I was about to answer that, but okay. And it's fine, it's good. We finish the story, and I'm not doing the thing where I stand there and ask any questions. I'm going, questions as we walk, because I already know we are running behind. And as we're walking to the next stop, oh my god, again, all the questions. And at one point we're walking by one of the massage parlors that there are women out front being like, come on inside for massages. And they stop to try to chat with the ladies. And I'm like, guys, tour, come on. And one of the ladies is like, oh, can we stop and go into this bar? And I'm like, no, we're one stop into the tour. Come on. And I'm practically in tears. I'd be like, I'll show you to the bar after the tour is over, but come on. And I finally get them to the second location and start the story. And this location has a really wide sidewalk. So yes, I can stand on the sidewalk with them. And I was like, this is perfect. This way she won't be as panicky. And I put them on a little ledge where there is a place you can sit. And usually the guests sit down there and get settled. And, yeah, no, the really drunk lady was not. She kept walking around. She wandered away a couple of times. She came over and would stand next to me and put her arm around my hip as if we were, girlfriends or something. And I was just like, it's fine as long as she's here. She's not interrupting too much. I'm going to ignore all of this. Until another group went to pass by us, and at the tail end, they had two guests that were as drunk as my guests. And these two drunk ladies make friends with my super drunk lady, because everyone is friends when you are equal levels of drunk, it seems. And they just are chatting right next to us, full volume, so I sort of have to stop, because also I have two guests, and one of them isn't paying attention, so I'm just sort of like... And the guest that is paying attention is like, you can keep going. And I'm like, no, actually, I can't, because I can't hear myself think. But eventually, she calls her friend back over, mainly because the drunk girl kept trying to go with the other group because she had made friends with them. And drunk girl comes back. I start again, like I have 2 more sentences left in this damn story, when she comes up, stands next to me, taps me on the shoulder, and says, can we go to the next place yet? And I'm like, I have like 2 lines left in this story. Let me just get through the conclusion. And she's like, no, can we go to the next place now? And I'm like I said, we'll go in as soon as I'm done with this. And if you're bored with the story, we can move on to another one. Y'all are the only people on this tour. And that's when her friend steps in to say, no, I think she's saying that she's out of focus and is no longer interested in being on the tour. Like, oh, we're going to call it here. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. For the love of God, go. But of course I'm more like, oh no, yeah, it's fine. Y'all are by yourselves. Do what you want. It's okay. And it takes forever for me to extricate myself from them anyway, because God bless, the drunk lady wanted to hug me like 3 times. It was very sweet. And at one point she tried to kiss me on the cheek, but she missed and ended up instead kissing my ear. And fun factoid about me, I don't like the sound of kissing. And it was right in my ear, and I swear that sound is still in my ear. And I'm like, oh my God. But finally, they leave. And that's the moment that I look down at my clock and realize that 2 stops, which would usually take me under 20 minutes, had just taken me an hour to get through. God bless. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out my book, Drunks of the French Quarter Theater, available on Amazon, bookshop.org, Barnes & Noble, pretty much wherever.